Throughout history, Chang'an has etched a unique, that emotional legacy for the Chinese people. The city's name embodies a profound symbol that of enduring peace and stability, and it shines with brilliance for having witnessed the two great eras of prosperity that during the Han and Tang dynasties. Yet, why has no dynasty chosen to establish its capital here since the Tang Dynasty? If one were to imagine the splendor of an ancient capital, the prosperous image of Chang'an that would always come to mind. If one could truly travel through time and space and choose a place to be reborn, 80% of people would choose Chang'an as their first choice. As the capital of 13 dynasties, this city has maintained its roots of prosperity that through the passage of dynasties. Even if one's birthplace, that Xi'an Chang'an, wasn't one of royalty or generals, at least one could be guaranteed food and clothing. With good fortune, one might even be born into a family of nobles and enjoy the splendor of wealth. So, what is the magic of this ancient city that has attracted more than 10 dynasties to establish their capitals here? It is often believed that Chang'an began as a capital during the Han Dynasty. In a narrower sense, it was Liu Bang who first established the capital and named it Chang'an. But looking back further in history, Qin Shi Huang, who unified the 6 kingdoms, was the original ruler of this land. Back then, the capital was called Xi'an, leveraging Xi'an's strategic location, fortified by its 4 walls, and the bountiful resources that of the fertile plains of Guangzhou. Qin Shi Huang led his army across the land. Unfortunately, his tyranny lost popular support, and his death in the 2nd year of his reign served as a cautionary tale for future generations. After the fall of the Qin dynasty, the empire descended into chaos, with Liu Bang and Xiang Yu emerging as the 2 most prominent figures. Xiang Yu was unrivaled in his bravery, leading the Chu army to victory, emulating the legacy of the first emperor. Liu Bang, however, was older and more cautious, lacking both powerful generals and elite troops. He could only gradually gain power through alliances. The people, having long suffered under the Qin, naturally hated the resurgence of a powerful state, and flocked to Liu Bang's side. Ultimately, the Han army defeated the Chu army, establishing the foundation of the Han dynasty. At the beginning of his dynasty, Liu Bang did not set his sights on Chang'an. At that time, Guangzhou was devastated by war, and the city of Xianyang had been burned by Xiang Yu, leaving the people homeless. Furthermore, most of the ministers who joined Liu Bang in the rebellion were from Pei County, and they preferred to make Luoyang, the former capital of the Eastern Zhou dynasty, closer to home. Furthermore, the doctrine of destiny was prevalent at the time, and people believed that even a powerful emperor like Qin Shi Huang, who established his capital in Guangzhou, perished in his 2nd reign. Therefore, this place might not be a good place to live. After careful consideration, Liu Bang decided to follow the Eastern Zhou example and make Luoyang his capital. At this critical juncture, a small soldier stepped forward, not only rebuking Liu Bang to his face, but also successfully persuading him to move the capital to Guangzhou. Who was this courageous counselor? This man, Liu Jing, was a Confucian scholar from Qi. Although he was just an ordinary soldier in the Han army, he possessed extraordinary insight. After Liu Bang unified China, he was ordered to guard the border. While passing through Luoyang, he heard about the capital move and immediately sought an audience with Liu Bang through a fellow townsman, insisting on making his case in person. Liu Bang, newly conquered and full of confidence, made an exception to the rule and met this unknown individual. Liu Jing meticulously analyzed the pros and cons of Chang'an and Luoyang. During the pre-Qin period, the emperor's direct jurisdiction was limited to a few hundred li. The rest of the land belonged to the princes, and the people were also governed by them. Against this backdrop, making Luoyang the capital was a wise choice. During the feudal system, the princes protected the emperor the core areas of the Central Plains, allowing them to quickly support him in the event of war. However, times had changed when the entire empire came under the emperor's control, and Liu Bang needed to reclaim the prince's fiefs. The alliance between the emperor and his subjects devolved into a state of antagonism, maintaining the capital in the undefensible Luoyang that would have been tantamount to opening the door to plunder. To ensure the enduring strength of his dynasty, Liu Bang decided to relocate the capital the strategic Guangzhou region, with the former site of Xianyang as his primary choice. Despite the massive reconstruction of Xianyang after Xiang Yu's destruction, Liu Bang still mobilized millions of laborers to rebuild a new city southeast of Xianyang, naming it Chang'an. To accelerate the construction of Chang'an, Liu Bang ordered the relocation of the nobles of the 6 kingdoms to Guangzhou, which both increased the population and boosted economic prosperity. At the time, Guangzhou's climate provided abundant rainfall, and a vast expanse of fertile land that was sufficient to support these nobles. Chang'an served as the capital of the Western Han Dynasty for over 200 years, until Wang Mang usurped the throne. Liu Xiu, the founder of the Eastern Han Dynasty, launched his rebellion in Hebei and, to facilitate his rule over the Central Plains, made Luoyang his capital. However, his descendants, through blood and tears, proved Luoyang's defensive shortcomings. At the end of the Eastern Han Dynasty, Emperor Xian of Han was unable to defend Luoyang and ultimately fell under the yoke of Cao Cao, plunging the Central Plains into a century of chaos. Until the founding of the Tang Dynasty, Li Yuan and his son, learning from the previous dynasty's mistakes, once again chose Chang'an, surrounded by mountains, as their capital. The Guangzhou Plain, with its twin natural barriers of Hanggu Pass, and Tongguan to the east, formed an impenetrable defensive system.